it's so rare that you would say a team that played all those overtime games getting the Stanley Cup Final is the one that's maybe rusty. But do you think that is, in fact, the case from what we've seen so far, Eddie?
Well, it's been a major drop-off, is it not, Rich, since them doing what they did to Carolina and being on such an unbelievable roll after round one of being down 3-1 to the favorite to win the Stanley Cup this year, the Boston Bruins, and they were on a heater of all heaters. And then you go away for 9 days. And it sure looks like that they, lost that swagger, that confidence. They're giving up a boatload of goals. They're not giving a lot of help to Sergei Bobrovsky, who ended up getting pulled last night in Game 2. So, yeah, it's a combination that, Vegas is a pretty damn good team, and their goaltender, Adin Hill, is playing it very well. They're coached very well. They play their system very well, and their goal scorers are scoring goals, where in the Carolina series, Carolina had very limited goal scorers, and, the two main guys were both hurt, so unfortunately for them, they weren't able to play, but it's tough to win games without scoring goals, and that was a real tough problem for Carolina the first 3 games of that series. So Stanley Cup Final, it looks like Florida has lost a little bit of it, but look, the mindset, we talked about it on our broadcast last night at the end of the game, Rich, we're just saying, look, okay, we lost this is a selling point for Paul Maurice, the head coach of the Florida Panthers. We lost the first 2 games on the road. Okay, big deal. It's a best of 7. We just got to go home and win 2 games in our building, and then it's a best of 3. So I think it's more of a sales job, more of a politician type of verbiage to his team to, regain that confidence. And I think they got to play a low-scoring game, Rich. I don't think that they're in any position right now where, Vegas is not going to be given up. At least I don't believe. Now, maybe there's that one game, but I don't see a 5-4 type of game. I don't. I think for Florida to get back in the series, in a lot of the games that they won and that heater they were on were low-scoring games. So I think it's got to be one of those 2-1, 3-2 type of games where they can get back in the series on Thursday night.
It's kind of funny, though, as we're sitting here fresh off of, as I mentioned, at the top of the hour, Miami Heat have even their series at 1 apiece with Denver. And after Game 1, it's just like, well, thanks for playing, Miami. Nice that you made it. And now here we are after Game 2, totally different series. And I'm just wondering if you think Florida might be able to knot it up by going back to South Florida, and that there is what is the gateway through? I know you just mentioned a couple of things, but what is the gateway through to get this back to a best of 3 maybe for them?
Well, look, I would be really surprised if they couldn't find a way to win, one game. And you would imagine it would I won't say have to be, but it would probably tend to be Game 3, just because how amped up everybody's going to be. The desperation is going to be absolutely on the side of the Florida Panthers. The fan base is going to be all lathered up, and everybody's going to be ready to go. So I just believe is that, and they're going to need, and I would assume, even though Bobrovsky got pulled, I think you have to go back to him. Alex Lyon was their starting goaltender at the end of the year in the regular season. In the playoffs, he played the first couple of games, and then Bob came in, and really since he's taken the net, they've gotten the Stanley Cup Final because of how awesome he has been. So they need him somehow, some way to regain. I don't know if awesomeness is a word, but he's got to find that, and if he does, then that gives them every opportunity to have that pathway, so to speak, as you mentioned, Rich, to get back in the series. But Vegas is really good. They're extremely well coached, and they're a big team. They're a heavy team, and their superstar players, their offensive players, have stepped up to the forefront, and that's why they have a 2-0 lead in the series.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.